Hello, welcome back, Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, Classic/Non-Classics. This is episode number 226 and Doubleshot number 159. First up, Justice League United, Volume 1, Justice League Canada, by Jeff Lemire and Mike McCone. I think that's how you pronounce his name. This is the first of 3 trades that collect the series of Justice League United. This one collects issues 0 through 5, and the lineup, and this is only the lineup for the first 10 issues, they changed the lineup after this, is not entirely all the way through. It's Supergirl, Martian Manhunter, Adam Strange, Animal-Man, Green Arrow, trying to think, Maya Bayan, Equinox, Stargirl, and of course, Hawkman. Kadar Hall Hawkman. This is, in case you're wondering, he is the third version of him. You have the pre-Crisis version that Gardner Fox introduced back in the 70s. Actually, it was the 60s. You have the one that, the one from Hawk World. This right here is the third Hawk. It's the third Kadar Hall. Now, the main villain in this story is Baz. Let's see if I can find him. This is him on the cover of one of the issues. This guy is the main villain. His name is Baith. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Now, he is a Hawkman villain. Yep. And, interesting little fact. When Hawkman first showed up in the comics, because I read it recently, Brave Bold issue 34, which is also the first appearance of Kadar Hall and the Silver Age version of Hawkman and Hawkgirl, Baith also made his first appearance in that very issue. So, officially, he is one of the oldest Hawkman villains ever. Now, he fought him frequently over the years, but this right here, this particular storyline, not only is the first post-Flash appearance of Baith, but it's also the first post-Flash appearance of Adam Strange on this gorgeous-looking cover, which is the cover, I believe, of issue 0. Supergirl doesn't come into around issue 2 or 3, but initially, this is the lineup. Oh, I almost forgot. Alina Lewis, who is Adam Strange's fiance, she later joins the group with the standalone issue. Now, the story of the book is simply like that Adam Strange, who is not in his costume yet, basically goes to Stargirl and Animal-Man. Apparently, Animal-Man basically in this current continuity is a celebrity. So everybody's like line up autographs, and he bypasses the line, goes straight up to him, basically tells him that his fiance has gone missing. Yeah, Anna Lewis is his fiance, not his wife, his fiance, which is fine as long as they're gonna get married. And basically, what Stargirl does basically was it takes a little while, but they do eventually believe him. So she, off panel, activates her JLA emergency communicator and summons Green Arrow and Martian Manhunter to join the fray. Okay, that's interesting. So you have 3 people from Justice League America. Some people you can kind of see this as sort of a continuation of Justice League America, since you have 4 of the members show up in here. Hawkman is only part of the group for like 1 issue, but he's considered a part of the group. But Animal-Man, in this continuity, this is the only Justice League team he's actually officially joined. In pre-Flashpoint, he joined the JLI. Yep. Now, one thing I've got to get credit for the artist doing is the post-Flashpoint redesign of the Adam Strange outfit. I mean, it feels Adam Strange. It feels like an outfit he would wear. It's a great-looking outfit. And here's the thing. In story, it's designed by the citizens of Ren, who actually have a bunker, which basically the team uses as their base operations after the storyline is completed. And Anna Lewis puts on pretty much puts on the same type of outfit, except hers is blue, black, and white, while Adam Strange is red, black, and white. Now, the reason why he put on that particular color is because in pre-Flashpoint, that was his color scheme when he was wearing his outfit. And of course, it also early experimentation of the Zeta Beam, where he keeps going back and forth between the planet Ren and Earth, which is great. He's automatically considered a member of this team automatically. because he helped put this team together. Basically, he's the reason why this team exists in story. Supergirl joins a little bit later, but it's nice the fact they have one of the Superman family members joining a major team like the Justice League. Now, she, as far as I know, has never joined the Teen Titans as continuity. As a matter of fact, not even pre-Flashpoint she joined Teen Titans. They did have Linda Danvers Supergirl. They had her join Teen Titans, but Kara Zor-El, nope. She was offered, but she never joined. But here, this is not a bad. You have a couple you have like 3 teenagers. Okay, that's fine. A couple young members. That's not a bad idea. Green Arrow is written to be completely different than how he is. And here's not by coincidence. At the time this series started publication, Jeff Lemire was ending his run. Was toward the end of his run for the Green Arrow title. So this is probably nice, the fact that he was able to continue writing the character. And plus, he already had written Animal-Man because he wrote the Animal-Man series. As for the rest of the characters, he kind of wrote Martian Manhunter before in sort of the setup story from Justice League, which is nice, the fact he did that. And I should also show up the artwork as well. The artwork is freaking gorgeous. And also Lobo, the pretty Lobo, shows up in here. A Lobo which any longtime comic fan despises this version of Lobo. I don't have a big problem with him, except I kind of miss the big muscular Lobo that Roger Stern and I'm trying to think of his name. Roger Stern and Keith Giffen introduced back in the 80s from Omega Man #3. I kind of miss that one. That one did show up in this current continuity, but the pretty Lobo killed him off in issue 1 of the Lobo series. In a battle that happened off panel. Yep. I hope eventually we actually get to see that battle. But who knows who would write that actual issue. But Lobo himself is only just in this one story arc. He's not in the follow-up one. Because I think like right after this, he got his own ongoing series. I think so. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Pretty much now, here's the odd thing though about this. Okay, 2014. There's one thing interesting little fact about this. When this series first started, Justice League America had not released its final issue yet. Because the final issue of Forever Evil was delayed, so any conclusion issues that was tying into Forever Evil basically have their books delayed, like Nightwing, Suicide Squad, Justice League, and Justice League America. These 4 books had each one of their titles receive them. Well, Justice League had already been delayed already, so that one really didn't hurt the book. But Suicide Squad, Nightwing, Justice League America, those were delayed by a whole month. Basically, where the final issue came out 2 months after their previous issue had just come out. So, pretty much, even though the end of the book said to be continued, in Justice League United #1, the book had already started, and the book was already up to issue 2. Yeah, I think pretty much issue 2 was just coming out, and issue 1 had just come out. Now, I don't know who set the blame for this, basically for the delay of Justice League America, but maybe DC's the reason for it. But this book is just pure awesome. There's a character introduced in here who was later. It's kind of like a setup for the next story arc, called Ultra, the Multi-Alien. That's what they call him. Let's see if I can get a good picture of him. Oh yeah, and Hawkman apparently dies in here about halfway through the story. Let's see, what's a good picture of him? Let's see. So that's his face. Here he is. That's him. That's Ultra the Multi-Alien. I'm not familiar with the character prior to this very story, but it's nice the fact they squeezed him in here. And plus, one of the neat things about this story is that you have the Justice League United, that I called they into issue 4. They go to Planet Ren with Adam Strange. And heck, Sabbath, who basically in, I think that's how you pronounce his name, in pre-Flashpoint, he was Alina's father. In this continuity, they're not related. At all. Nope. And, like in pre-Flashpoint, especially from the early Silver Age, when Adam Strange first showed up in comics, this guy was behind the Zeta Beam project. And that's one thing I'm glad they kept that in here, the fact that he was in charge of the project. And they had this thing where they did have it in the book where eventually Adam did reunite with Alina very briefly, before their heads, basically, before the charge would explode, so Adam Strange got transferred back to Planet Ren, and Alina basically stayed on Earth. But here's the thing. This little problem with the Zeta Beam wasn't finally fixed until the series ended. and well after Jeff Lemire left the book. But, oh, and I don't want to... I do kind of want to spoil this because the storyline is like 2 years old. But at the end of issue 5, we see the return of a character that no one had seen since the end of the since then Legion of Superheroes series. Why, it's Mon-El of the Legion of Superheroes. Yep, Mon-El. Kind of nice to see him. The whole point of him being there is to help. Is also he's another character that helps sets up the very next issue, which has the Justice League United teaming with the Legion of Superheroes. But I will get hopefully the library will get the book eventually. But this book is just pure awesome at its finest. The artwork is gorgeous. It has sort of the Hellboy Dark Horse, the Dark Horse comics, the artwork they use for that series. It has a similar type of feel to it that Hellboy comic does. So, pure awesome. 9.5 out of 10. I highly recommend it. Alright. Sorry about that, dropping the floor. Next up, Star Wars Volume 2, Showdown on Smuggler's Moon by Jason Aaron. And there's a couple different artists. One is Simon Bianchi, I think it's how you pronounce the guy's name, and Stuart Immonen. Stuart Immonen basically was the artist for All New X-Men before he left the book. Now, the book itself has like a couple different stories with it. First, it starts off with something that basically that the series Star Wars is basically still trying to continue as of right now. Basically, in between story arcs, they have an entry into the Obi-Wan Kenobi's journal. Now, the journal itself takes place in between the time period between episodes 3 and 4. It's just Obi-Wan Kenobi. Now, as far as I can tell, it takes place just a few short years into his exile on Tatooine. I'd say he's been there for about 4 or 5 years, given how old Luke is at the time. It's a nice little standalone issue, and it's great, and it's a very good issue. And after they conclude the Vader Down crossover, they did have another entry into the journal Obi-Wan Kenobi. But now for the story of Showdown on Smuggler's Moon, which is a place that they visit here in this very story. Which there's a lot of Jedi references in here. There's a hut in here, which is great. You have a continuation of the previous story arc where they have the introduction to supposedly a woman who's allegedly Han Solo's wife, though at the end she really just says, "No, I'm not really his wife." Yeah. And here's the thing, Jason Aaron, and this is of course after Vader Down, and currently in the Rebel Jail storyline, she's still in the series. Yeah. A brand new character introduced in the series, which is fine. You have Luke going off to another world. Now here's the thing. Vader doesn't show up in this book until the very last issue. So, because he's an ongoing series, he doesn't technically need to appear in Star Wars that much. Well, with the except Vader Down crossover, but otherwise, though, he doesn't necessarily need to appear frequently as he did in the first story. Basically, they did that so they can help set up a series. But here's artwork for the first story. And here's the artwork for the second story, for this story arc. It's well different, and probably one of the best things about this particular story, is that you have, and people pointed this out when the issues were coming out, is that Chewbacca in these issues, is acting like Batman, and people call him Batbacca for that. And I thought that was just so hilarious. And he fights this bounty hunter that I'm showing here on the back, Dengar, I think his name is, who most people might remember seeing him as part of that cameo lineup, of bounty hunters that was seen in Empire Strikes Back. Now, there's no Fett in this issue, just in this graphic novel, just that one character who apparently dies at the very end. But the book is like a year old, so I can basically give away spoilers for it. But a lot of interesting things, and plus you get a lot of, you have characters using, heck, you see Chewbacca, Princess Leia, and Han all using lightsabers. Really great, and This storyline is just pure awesomeness at its finest. The series is still going really well. I'm sure they'll probably get a chance to review the Vader Down trade, and whenever Rebel Joe gets released. But this is just pure awesomeness at its finest. It's a great continuation of Star Wars. I highly recommend this and the first volume of the series. Oh, I get this one a 9.5 out of 10. Alright, stay tuned for the next episode, which should be my 160th double shot in episode number 227. Yeah, I believe 227. Let me just make sure of that. Yeah, 227. So, until then, I'll see you there. Bye.